Every empire imagines its power will last forever. Rome was no different. It built monuments that scraped the sky of the ancient world, roads that stitched continents together, and a currency so respected that it traveled farther than the legions themselves. But beneath the marble, beneath the golden eagles, a quieter enemy grew. It wasn't a barbarian tribe. It wasn't a rival empire. It was the very thing Romans believed would always hold the empire together: money. This is the story of how money destroyed ancient Rome, how wealth turned into weakness, and how the greatest economy of its time collapsed under the weight of its own ambition. Why does this matter today? Because empires don't truly fall when armies march. They fall when the underlying belief in their money, their economic lifeblood, begins to evaporate. Rome's economy once stood as the envy of the ancient world, but over centuries, corruption, inflation, and the desperate printing of currency without backing transformed strength into chaos. When the Roman silver coin, the denarius, lost its value, so did the empire's ability to pay soldiers, feed citizens, and maintain the illusion of control. Today we debate inflation, national debt, and the future of the dollar. Rome shows us what happens when those debates are ignored until it's too late. The past is not just dusty history, it's a mirror. The origins of Rome's economic dominance began with something simple: trust. When the Roman Republic expanded in the 3rd and 2nd centuries BCE, it brought home treasures, tribute, and most importantly, silver. The denarius, first minted around 211 BCE, was nearly pure silver and stamped with the authority of the state. It represented strength, stability, and civic pride. The more Rome conquered, the more silver poured in. Wealth flowed like a river from Spain, Greece, Egypt, and beyond. Soldiers were rewarded handsomely, merchants thrived, the state grew rich. The empire was built on both military might and a currency strong enough to bind people's loyalty. But success has a way of planting seeds of downfall. Wealth concentrated in the hands of Rome's elite. Huge estates grew, farmers were pushed aside, inequality deepened. The Republic became an oligarchy. Those with money shaped politics, bought influence, and turned government into a marketplace of power. Julius Caesar, facing massive debt, conquered Gaul not only for glory, but for gold to pay back creditors and buy his future. When Caesar fell, the Republic did too, and Augustus emerged as the consummate architect of a new Roman world. He stabilized the currency and restored confidence. For 2 centuries, a period we call the Pax Romana, Rome enjoyed economic stability. Then everything changed. Expansion slowed. New silver mines became scarce. Yet the empire's appetite only grew. More soldiers to defend longer borders, more grain to feed a swelling population, more bureaucracy to manage sprawling lands. Wealth was no longer created, it was consumed. Taxes rose, discontent simmered. And Roman emperors discovered a dangerous trick. They began debasement, reducing the silver content in coins while keeping the same face value. Under Emperor Nero in 64 CE, the denarius dropped from nearly 100% silver to about 90%. A small change. Harmless, it seemed. But each emperor after him took another slice. By the time of Septimius Severus around 200 CE, the silver percentage had fallen below 50%. And under Caracalla, the silver coin was so debased that soldiers demanded payment not in currency, but in gold. Once trust in money fractures, it collapses fast. The 3rd century became known as the crisis of the Roman Empire, and money was at the center of the chaos. Emperors came and went, 26 in just 50 years, many murdered within months of taking power. Each one minted more coins to pay the army that kept him alive. It was a death spiral. Inflation surged. Prices for everyday goods soared beyond what people could afford. Barter returned to markets as currency became nearly worthless. The historian Cassius Dio wrote that soldiers received wages so inflated that merchants demanded twice, then 10 times, then 100 times as much for food. It was the ancient world's version of hyperinflation, relentless and humiliating. People watched their savings dissolve. The once mighty denarius became a scrap of metal no better than bronze. Into this chaos stepped an emperor determined to fix it, Diocletian, in 284 CE. He reorganized the empire, doubled the number of provinces, and imposed price controls through the famous edict on maximum prices in 301 CE. The goal: stop inflation by force. The result: disaster. Merchants refused to sell at unrealistically low prices. Goods disappeared. A black market exploded. Diocletian also increased taxes, demanding payment in goods instead of money. A silent admission that Roman currency could no longer be trusted. When money fails, the economy retreats to older forms of survival. Skills replaced salaries, grain replaced wages, loyalty replaced law. And then came Constantine. In 312 CE, he issued a new coin, the solidus, made of gold so pure it held value for centuries. This stabilized parts of the empire, but only for those with access to gold. Ordinary citizens remained in poverty. The economy split into two worlds, a rich elite shielded by gold and everyone else struggling under taxes and worthless coins. By the 5th century, Rome could no longer pay its armies. When gold did exist, much of it flowed east to Constantinople. The Western Empire was left hollow. Soldiers were replaced with foreign mercenaries who owed no loyalty to Rome's crumbling heart. Barbarians didn't defeat a strong empire, they pushed over a weakened shell. When Rome fell in 476 CE, it wasn't just a political event. It was the end of a financial system that once connected millions. The grand economy of Rome shrank into local barter. Cities emptied. Roads decayed without maintenance. Trade withered. Money had destroyed Rome by losing the very trust it was built upon. So what is the hidden logic we must learn? Currency is confidence. The moment that confidence cracks, value evaporates. Rome printed more coins instead of creating more wealth. It funded luxury while ignoring the foundation. It believed the empire was eternal, and therefore its money was too. But history repeats for those who stop listening. Today, the global economy relies on digital numbers that most people never see physically. Nations create money to survive crises. Inflation rises, debt grows. We debate currencies like the dollar, the euro, the yuan, and who will control the future. The story feels familiar. Rome reminds us, no empire collapses suddenly. It erodes slowly, invisibly from the inside out. Even as Roman citizens felt things changing, daily life went on until it couldn't. For ordinary Romans, the pain came first at the marketplace. Prices rising, savings shrinking, taxes squeezing harder, money buying less. Their suffering was the earliest warning long before historians wrote the final chapter. The empire's fall was a human tragedy, not just an economic footnote. So here we stand, looking back at a once invincible power and asking the question it never asked soon enough. What happens when an empire forgets the true source of value? Not mines, not coins, not government decrees. Trust. Trust is the invisible empire. When trust breaks, everything breaks with it. Rome's ruins are not just stone, they are a warning. If this changed how you understand how money destroyed ancient Rome, subscribe for more stories where money, power, and history collide, and where the past may be closer to the future than we think.